Hey guys, welcome back. I'm really fucking hyped for Halo Infinite. I'm also really fucking hyped for Doom Eternal. Now, aside from both their names almost meaning the same thing, these two cool ass games also share one other key feature. Their main characters are two of the most badass iconic super soldiers in gaming history, both sporting an incredibly violent legacy of tearing through wave after wave of aliens with ease. So, seeing as you guys enjoyed the last one so much, I've partnered up with Roanoke Gaming once again to pit these two gaming juggernauts against each other to see which super soldier would reign victorious in a 1v1 fight to the death. Just like before, I'm going to cover the Master Chief side of things before finishing with who I think would win, and Roanoke is going to cover the Doomguy side of things in his video, for which there'll be a link at the top of the description. So, without any further ado, I present to you the totally unbiased Chief side of the fight, something he always likes to finish. The Master Chief is a Spartan 2, a class of Spartan super soldier that is arguably still the UNSC's most elite today. Like his other Spartan 2 brothers and sisters, he was kidnapped at the age of 6 and forced into a life of hardcore military training to ensure that he became the best he could possibly be. His childhood and adolescence consisted of being put through extreme stamina, tactical and combat training at highly top secret facilities on Reach, where he constantly ranked the highest in his class before being pumped full of countless experimental chemicals during his augmentation. These chemicals and medical procedures greatly enhanced Chief's visual perception, muscle mass, bone structure, strength, endurance, reflexes, intelligence, and made his bones practically unbreakable. This, combined with his height of 6'10" and weight of 130 kilograms, makes him a fucking behemoth, and that's before we talk about his Mjolnir armor, so even unarmored, Chief is an absolute tank. But with his Mjolnir armor, he practically becomes Shagohod. When armored up, he reaches a height of 7'2" and a weight of 451 kilos. His armor also provides him with even more strength, resolve, and combat prowess, thanks to the useful heads-up display inside the helmet. A neural implant is inserted into his skull during augmentation, which allows the Mjolnir armor to work synonymously with his body, turning it from a suit of armor to what is essentially just an extension of his already extremely powerful body. The armor itself is crafted from a thick titanium alloy, capable of stopping most small arms fire and putting up a pretty strong defense against larger rounds too, and even armor-piercing ones as well, although they are able to eventually pierce the armor. To counter the use of plasma weaponry, the titanium is also given a refractive coating, so the heat from the plasma is dispersed, which minimises the damage, although this again doesn't entirely stop it. One of Chief's closest squad members, Linda 058, was almost killed by plasma fire while wearing Mark V, so even though it's resilient to plasma, it's most definitely not invincible to it. The Mjolnir also comes with a fail-safe self-destruct option, which not only prevents the tech from falling into enemy hands, but allows the user to go out in a blaze of martyrdom. If Chief did happen to go down in battle, he could activate this failsafe, overloading the suit's microfusion reactor and burning everything in a 10-meter radius before exploding, sending himself out with a bang. The suit also grants him energy shields, increased movement speed and jump height, and the ability to utilize an AI companion for maximum battlefield efficiency. Of course, later on during his career, Chief served with Cortana, a smart AI created directly from the brain of Dr. Catherine Halsey, the creator of the Spartan program. Beneath the armor is a titanium nanocomposite black undersuit that provides another strong level of ballistics protection, while also remaining incredibly flexible. Inside the suit is a layer of liquid metal that acts as sort of an artificial muscle extension to increase Chief's overall strength and maneuverability, along with biofoam injectors to quickly seal a wound, which means that if Chief gets wounded in battle, he can continue fighting with ease. Force multiplying circuits are also located inside the suit, which greatly enhance any force applied by it, making Chief's hand-to-hand combat extremely lethal. Master Chief is incredibly strong unarmored, no doubt, but his Mjolnir, no matter the variant or generation, massively increases his lethality to a level that is pretty much unmatched by anything, making him practically unstoppable in combat. This hyper-lethality has been battle-tested countless times, and after each skirmish, Chief comes out a tougher Spartan. To go through each and every conflict that Chief has served in would probably take years. No service record is as long or as decorated as his, but we can briefly cover some highlights. So Chief's first ever mission was at the mere age of 13, where he and some of his fellow Spartan 2s were tasked with capturing an insurrectionist leader, Colonel Robert Watts, a task that they successfully completed with ease, despite the fact that this mission was undertaken before any of the Spartans even had their Mjolnir. Later that year, however, he fought in the Battle of Kaiseti IV, alongside his other Spartan 2s, who this time were all decked out in their new Mark IV Mjolnir. It took place very shortly after humanity first made hostile contact with the Covenant on Harvest, and resulted in Chief and co taking down a large Covenant ship, the Unrelenting. A year later, in 2526, he helped rescue remaining survivors from the Corbulo Military Academy on Sicinius IV, a very, very bloody battle in which the casualties massively outweighed the survivors. Despite that, Chief massively displayed his combat prowess during this battle, single-handedly taking down a pair of hunters, one of which he killed with nothing but a well-placed grenade. Now, as badass as all of this is, for the sake of time and importance, let's skip forward to Chief's most notable battles, because this ain't no history lesson. Reach and the Halo event. When the fall of Reach began, Chief was dedicated to saving it. He'd grown up there, the planet was practically his home, so despite some higher-ups being adamant that it was a lost cause, he ignored them still and did everything he could to save it. In the process, he lost numerous Spartan brothers and sisters, but continued to fight on. With the help of Blue Team, he did all that he could, but ultimately, Reach was in fact a lost cause, regardless of his efforts. Chief then left Reach in cryosleep on board the Pillar of Autumn before being awoken to the discovery of Halo. Now, with the help of his AI Cortana, who enhanced his abilities even further, he proceeded to fend off the Covenant, defeat the Flood, and destroy the Ring. He then met up with some members of Blue Team and destroyed the Covenant battle station, the Unyielding Hierophant, which had managed to attain Earth's coordinates, which, if he hadn't managed to do, would have been pretty catastrophic for the human force. During the battle, Chief aided in the destruction of 498 of the Prophet of Truth ships, creating a massive dent in the entire Covenant armada. He then acquired his new, upgraded Mark VI and proceeded to defend Earth from the Covenant, before chasing Regret off to Delta Halo, killing him, and inflicting a massive blow to the Covenant's leadership. He then defended Earth for the second time, but this time it wasn't just from the Covenant, it was from the Flood too, before following Truth to the Ark, where he and the Arbiter put an end to the Covenant, once and for all. Then he defeated the Flood, again, and destroyed yet another Halo, before being sucked into a mysterious planet and almost single-handedly defeating the most decorated, notorious foreigner warrior to ever exist. Now, I could go on and on and on about Chief's history, but really all you need to know is that he's served in countless wars, and no human, alien, or zombie that ever crossed him is still alive today, no matter their size, strength, or importance. Through all these trials and tribulations, Chief learnt a unique skill that no specific training could have ever taught him: the ability to use alien technology. Any form of alien weaponry, vehicle, or technology, Chief can use with ease and lethality, which is a massive benefit on the battlefield, especially when ammo is low. He also has one more thing on his side that nobody else does, one thing that stays with him no matter what: luck. So, when we stack up all of Chief's abilities, strengths, and enhancements, both biological and mechanical of course, how does he stack up against Doomguy? Well, I would have loved to have said that this fight was the closest thing to an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, but sadly, for our boy Chief, that just isn't the case. Chief might be a hyper-lethal tank, but pretty much everything that he does well, Doomguy just does better. If you want to know the fine details, then now is definitely the time to go and check out Roanoke's video. The link is at the top of the description, but I'll give you the brief details. So Doomguy was responsible for taking out Titan, who was one of the most powerful demons in the entirety of Hell, and his strength is so high that he can quite literally tear demons apart with his bare hands. Given the number of weapons that he can carry while also remaining totally unhindered, his strength seems almost infinite, and this is only enhanced by his seemingly invincible Praetor Seed. As strong as Chief Mjolnir is, it's not bulletproof, nor is it plasma-proof. Despite the measures in place to protect it, both ballistics and plasma can break through the titanium armor and undersuit and kill the wearer. Despite their Mjolnir, countless Spartans were killed by the Covenant's plasma weaponry, so Chief is most definitely susceptible to the weapons used by Doomguy. After seeing what Atriox can do to a Mark IV helmet with only one hand, it's also hard to imagine that Doomguy's seemingly infinite strength wouldn't be able to just like straight up fucking crush Chief Mjolnir with his bare hands. I mean, hell, given that he can rip and tear demons to shreds with no weapon whatsoever, he could likely just snap Chief. If not all the time, he could at least do this when overcharged with Berserk, which basically uses energy to enhance his strength even further. He can also overcharge himself with energy to create haste, which allows him to sprint at like 90 miles an hour, so not only could he absolutely annihilate Chief in a fight, he could also really easily escape his Mjolnir's self-destruct system that maybe otherwise would have slightly wounded him. Chief's luck is really the only thing that he has up on Doomguy, but given that he's the literal embodiment of overpowered, I can see this being the first time that Chief's luck doesn't save him. Cortana would also be practically useless against Doomguy as well, as would Chief's augmentations and training. Yeah, they make him really strong, but that's in the Halo universe. Doomguy is responsible for single-handedly taking on the entirety of Hell and coming out without a scratch, whereas Chief has been known to struggle against simple Covenant foot soldiers before. It really doesn't stack up that well. Despite his incredible service record, training, abilities, traits, armor, hyperlethality, and luck, it makes me very sad to say that Chief would get absolutely fucking steamrolled by Doomguy. Can I get an F in the comments, please, my boys? An F in the comments. And that should cover one of gaming's most long-lasting, heated 1v1s. I honestly think this is about the only battle that Chief would lose, and sadly, it is an incredibly one-sided loss. That said, I'd love to see Chief and Doomguy like maybe team up to take on the Eternal Demons of Hell or the Infinite Hordes of Flood at some point. That is a collab that needs to happen. Thank you to Roanoke for covering the Doomguy half of this video. Definitely go and check it out if you haven't already. Also, big thank you to my patrons, Ardent, Tomahawk, Evan, Momo, Shikata, Mjolnir, Matthew, Pierre, Tony, Ben, Jim, Jack Madden, Eric Brown, Sam Grafton, Brewer98, and Hayden Woods. I really appreciate the support. So, I hope you guys enjoyed another one of these versus videos. You seem to love the last one, so we figured it was the perfect time to compare two of gaming's most iconic badass super soldiers, because, I mean, they both have two extremely hyped games on the horizon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.